Hello and welcome to GullyTalk that brings to you all the action from IPL 2026. We are into the last leg of IPL, where the playoffs race has turned into an absolute battlefield. While some teams are in a comfortable position, others are panicking. There are no more safety nets. Every single franchisee and all of us, the fans, everybody is doing the math. Teams like RCB and GT, in all likelihood, will make it to the playoffs. SRH, Rajasthan Royals, Chennai Super Kings, and Punjab Kings will be the four other teams which will be battling it out for those two spots. Let's break this down. My name is Saru, and joining me for this special episode is Hari sir. Hello, Hari sir.
Good to be here, Saru.
So I'm going to put you right away in the spot. Which are the four teams which will make it to the playoffs?
Looks like the top four that are there on the table, RCB,
Okay.
GT are definitely going to be there for sure. But SRH and Punjab Kings also are favorites for sure. But the outside chance, I think, looks like Rajasthan Royals. If Punjab, the way they are playing today, also they're going to be in trouble. Otherwise, I think Chennai again has got a difficult phase to handle the matches coming up and all that. But I think the first four seem to be the favorites.
Okay, the first four you say. Okay, I don't believe that Punjab will be able to make it, but let's break this down team wise. RCB I know is one of your favorite teams. It's
Sure, sure.
always hard for a team to repeat a good performance in consecutive seasons. I mean, we've seen how Punjab did last well and was struggling this year, but RCB has been that one consistent team, 16 points, and I think today, as we speak, they're playing against Punjab. Both batting wise, they have a tall batting order. They bat deep, and probably one of the best bowling lineups right now. One of the most consistent sides. Do you see them doing this very easily, or do you see them faltering at any stage?
I think if you see the history of IPL, also there are teams which have done consistently well over years. Let's say
Right.
the first few years it was Mumbai Indians and Chennai Super Kings. So the key is to have those players who contribute consistently and the
Hmm.
team composition.
Hmm.
I think RCB got it right last year, and this year they didn't make huge changes to their bowling setup, excepting Krunal Pandya has been a is a revelation this year. But the batting revolves around Virat Kohli on the top order and Devdutt Padikkal being in excellent form that he is in. So all in all, I think they are continuing the good work that they have done last year. And as you rightly said, the bowling unit, I think probably the best in the current setup. GT is very close next, but
Hmm.
between Hazelwood and Bowie, they are giving those initial good overs, restricting the opposition teams in the power play, which has become a very important segment of this 20-over play. So I think that's where they hold their cards. And batting, as you see, still the firepower of Tim David and
Hmm.
the rest of Jitesh have not
Jitesh.
really come into the party. So
Right.
let's say they are the current favorites when it comes to the complete balance of the team that they have got this year.
Okay, okay. If we have to really, really pick something and say this is where maybe RCB might have a weakness, would it be in their spin department where I think Suyash has been a little inconsistent? But I think Krunal Pandya is more than making up for that.
Yeah, and Krunal Pandya surprises the batsman with his medium pace or balls also. So all in all, I think see in a T20 match, it's not so much what is the spin and pace combination.
Right.
If you are able to make those big breakthroughs in the first six overs, the power play, which the pace duo is doing for them, I think
Right.
the middle overs bowling is much more easier for the spinners. So that's what is making things easy for RCB. Even the military medium pace bowlers who are there in their fray also are helping them.
Hmm.
So all in all, that efficiency of a very specialist spinner like UG was there for RCB for many years. That is not being felt really.
Right.
Um, I think these two bowlers are doing their best.
Right. I think the only other player they would be hoping comes back into their team is Phil Salt.
Yeah, I think that injury concern is still not
Mm,
over. The other, if there is any minor glitch in their entire setup, is the lower middle order has not really fight big, as I
mm,
told Desh, and Tim David have not really hit big.
mm.
If they get into the act and they hit big, and these small grounds of IPL are nothing for them. So
No.
that maybe a good day is around the corner for them.
Yeah, I think their top order has been so brilliant
So
that
consistent, so
their
consistent.
middle and lower order has barely gotten a chance. Uh,
Yeah.
you know,
And see how Virat is going match after match, match after match.
that was my
Something,
next
something.
question. How can we not speak about Kohli? I mean, what do you think? I mean, he'll play probably what? The next 10 IPLs?
Looks like the way he's going, the way he's running, the way he celebrates a wicket, and the way he goes around building up his innings and hitting those sixes, which again was not his big forte in the past. All these things, year on year, he is improving. If you see his last 3 years consistency of IPL, also, I think they're all above 500, 600 runs. It is not easy for a batsman to maintain this that level of consistency. Uh, an enigma, a genius, and a superstar.
Absolutely. I mean, you couldn't have said it better. I think they're sitting on 16 points and they have, I think, one more match after today, which is against Sunrisers Hyderabad. And they'll be looking at these two matches, today's and the one against SRH, to, and I think more importantly, get to those top two. Uh,
Top to coach. I,
top two.
I think that's what is their aim, and from the way it looks like, they should make it comfortable.
Great. On that note, let's move on to the next team, GT. They've been one of the most consistent side, making it to the playoffs season after season. And like you said, one of the good bowling lineups. Uh,
Yes.
do you see them going all the way?
Yes, I think again, definitely the favorite number two for sure for this IPL, if not one and a half. In the way I put it is because I think what RCB didn't do so well is both the openers firing,
Right.
which GT has.
Mhm.
In that case, their opening stance and the first power play 6 overs game has been much more consistent than any other teams. Uh,
Mhm.
Punjab had their few first matches, but after that they are not hitting. But if you look at Sai Sudarshan and Shubman's opening stance that they get, and if they by by chance if they get out, and then there is where you have the number three who is again a superstar in his own. So their batting is set. At least the top three is definitely there, and the bowling of Rabada is a revelation. I think he's a close contender for the purple cap, and his fiery first few overs are not easy to negotiate for the best of the hitters also. So all this is coming very strongly in favor of Gujarat. And what RCB does not have and what GT has is again the genius of Rashid. So the spin department is again very, very ably taken care by Rashid Khan. So
Right.
all in all, I think it's a complete team.
For GT, if you see, it's just Rabada at his best in the IPL ever.
Yeah.
Mohammad Siraj, the old horse who's always done it for India and of course as well as for GT. There's Prasidh Krishna who's actually not getting the opportunity. So someone like him is in the, he's on the bench. And Jason Holder joining their ranks, I think, gave them that balance in terms of
Yes.
that good, solid middle order batsman who can hit the big sixes and can also hold the innings if needed. On certain occasions. With
Yeah.
Hari said, the only question that I have for you is there is a certain stubbornness about GT where their batsmen refuse to go beyond a strike rate. I think that can prove a little like you never see a GT batsman going beyond 180 strike rate. Whereas I think on a good day, or rather on a day where you really need to win a match, like one of the playoffs or the final matches, you would need one of those batsmen to just go there, have the license to hit it out of the park because all their three top batsmen look similar with that 160, 170 max strike rate. Is that a concern?
Not really, as long as they are winning and as long as they are on the top of the tables. More importantly, I think the strike rates are just statistics. I think considering the class of Shubman Gill and Sai Sudarshan, I
Mm.
think they know how to pace the innings. In most cases, when they are batting first, this problem is coming, and I think yesterday's match is
Right.
one indication where somebody comes and just
Mm.
has a good day, like Allen and or
Mm.
in case of Lucknow Super Giants, it was Mishmash. No,
Mitch
those are exceptions.
Right.
So those don't determine the strength of the team or their chances really.
Mm.
You must also look at how they chase.
Mm.
GT has been good chasers, and in the situations where they batted first, they have that firepower of Rabada and the swing of Siraj to do the required. So they might not be the team that might be looking for 240s, 230s uh, as a target for the opposition team. They might be
Mm.
content with a 200 or a 195 and then still have that confidence to uh, break the batting of the opposition teams. I think they're sitting pretty. They're sitting pretty.
Okay, I think you've made a lot of GT fans happy. The fact that you say that they're sitting pretty. They have
Yes,
their
yes,
final match against CSK, and that's going to be. I think that's going to be in Ahmedabad. How do you think?
yes.
Because it's an important one for CSK. Every single match is important for CSK from here on. GT versus
Yeah.
CSK. How do you look at that contest?
It's a it's again I would say 60-40 match with GT holding the edge again because of the bowling edge that they have compared to CSK. CSK
Mm-hmm.
also has been very inconsistent with their batting,
Mm.
excepting Sanju, who had his flourishes
Mm.
centuries and some good knocks, and Urvil Patel's
Mm.
uh,
Fabulous
big
50.
50. Yeah, fastest 15. Other than that, I think their batting has always struggled.
Yeah.
That has been their concern. And then their bowling also, despite some good wins that they have under the belt, it's not been very consistent. So
Right.
in a ground like Ahmedabad, which is Shubman Gill's favorite, piece of
Mm.
land, the dimensions of Ahmedabad ground, the GT team
Right.
knows very very well. Uh, I mean, there are exceptional losses they had this season. Notwithstanding this, I think Ahmedabad and GT must have a comfortable day there.
So you look at GT winning the that encounter.
That encounter, and
Okay.
that's what makes me think that CSK might have a difficult time getting into the top four.
Okay. So we're not going to get a CSK versus RCB playoff this time.
How we wish, how we wish, how we
Yeah.
wish.
Now that we talk about CSK, they're on 12 points and they have two upcoming matches, one against GT and of course a tough one against Sunrisers Hyderabad. So how do you, like you said, CSK has been inconsistent with their batting. Moments of brilliance, it's been a little patchy here and there. How do you look at the season of CSK up until now?
I think CSK's fortunes depended on the start that Sanju gave. You look at the top 10 or 15 batsmen. I don't think any other batsman of CSK is featuring there, excepting Sanju. That shows what the team has actually looked at. Look
Right.
at it from the point of bowling, except that Kamboj, who has been a workhorse, who had a
Right.
bad match the other day. But otherwise, I think their bowling also has been very very patchy.
Mhm.
So if you look at the team composition, they didn't get it right. They had an unfortunate injury of Ayush Matre, who started off well this season. So it's again depending a lot on Sanju's and Ruturaj's start. Ruturaj
Mm.
also has been here and there, not
Mm.
really at his best. So all in all, it'll be a day where if Sanju gets
Mm.
it his way, I think the fortunes will swing CSK's way. Um,
Mhm.
let's look at the match that they have against Hyderabad. Again,
Yes.
Hyderabad has got those power strikers. Again, the top three. So
Yes.
these top three will actually torment their opening attack. Uh, so CSK starts with a defensive mode when you have such
Right.
sort of batting power on the opposite side. Uh, so against Hyderabad also, I feel they'll be happy if they win.
Would you have liked to probably play Urvil Patel a little earlier on? Because I do remember when we had connected for the previous season, there was Urvil Patel in a couple of matches and he had performed very well. And we all expected him to be sort of like a sure starter. Whereas he was not really there, and I think the preference was given for the big buys of Kartik Sharma, Prashant Veer. Do you think that that decision would have probably made a little bit of a difference? Maybe Sanju and Orville opening and Ruturaj coming in at one down. That's something that many analysts have been saying, that Ruturaj should be
I am
batting
also
one
of that opinion, Sarup, completely with you that Urvil should have been given a chance of opening with Sanju, especially after those heroics,
down. Right.
because Ruturaj is not getting that rhythm in his batting. So even if he loses his wicket, also there's every chance that he will clear the fields in the power play, and he's very good against fast bowling. So all in all, it would have been a good gamble, if I have to say, to
Mm-hmm.
try that. Maybe they will,
Mm-hmm.
because there's a lot of,
Yes.
as you rightly said, a lot of thinkers think that way, and give Rituraj that number three slot. So, but there again, area of concern has been if Sanju or Rituraj is out, who else to take? Kartik Sharma has been batting,
Mm-hmm.
but not the way the big guy should bat.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how it is. You need that when Sai Sudarshan bats or the Shubman Gill bats, you feel that
Mm.
they're there to stay and hit a big score. That's not the
Right.
case with Karthik Sharma's and those lot.
Yeah, and CSK, I think, would have also liked more contributions from someone like Bravis, isn't it, at number four? Uh,
He has been a disappointment. He has been an absolute disappointment because the baby
Mhm.
Mr. 360 was supposed to be a big hit, especially in small grounds. He would have hit so many sixes, but somehow he never got the starts, or he didn't get that rhythm going
Yeah.
for him. He has been a real disappointment. I think they banged a lot on him. Also, another disappointment has been Dubey. Dubey
Dubey.
has been excellent for India, even if he had 5 overs when he comes at 15th, 16th over also, he was
Mm-hmm.
good enough to clear. But this time around, again, batsmen go through these phases of loss of rhythm. When they get into that phase of loss of rhythm, Shivam Dubey or Brevis, it didn't do their team any good. Like the way Hardik Pandya did for
Mm.
the Gujarat Titans in the first year, to come at number four. Maybe
Yeah.
somebody like Dubey also should be given some overs to play, and then
Yeah.
he will accelerate the moment he plays about 20-25 balls. So
Yeah.
they should have tried this when Brevis kept on repeatedly failing.
Yes.
Um, Somewhere
Yeah.
at the
Yeah.
think tank level also, they didn't get it right.
So you think it's late for them? You're not giving them much
Uh,
of a chance then.
yeah, what you call sentimentally, I'll be happy if they get into top four. But looks like they'll have to play under the skin to really to get there.
And not much talk about the big man. Where do you see him in the whole scheme of things? Everybody's waiting to get a peek of MS Dhoni.
I think he'll only come on the screens to say hi and bye, but looks like he's not going to be around. And it may not be in the best interest of the team that he comes at this stage. And then even if he hits a 20 quick fire 20 and all, it's not going to help.
Yeah, yeah. But knowing the kind of fan following that he has, I think just a peek
Yes,
from the dressing room is also more than enough, I think, for all the
is
fans.
enough. Yeah.
Awesome. So now that we spoke about the CSK and SRH match, let's talk about SRH. They are on 14 points. One win probably needed for them. They have that match against CSK and they have one against RCB in Hyderabad. So both tough ones. How do you see again the journey of SRH up until now? Like for me, I'm definitely counting them as one of the playoffs, and probably they will also give a tough fight for the title, I would think.
Yes, I think on their day it's impossible
Mm.
to beat like SRH, because the top three give a different variety of aggression. Uh, when Head and Abhishek give them the flyer, Ishan Kishan gives much more balance, and it's very difficult for the fielding side to keep a field for a batsman like Ishan,
Mm.
who
Mm.
nobody calls him a 360, but he's still a 360
Mm.
in his own way. So very difficult to contain them. not just 6 overs. It's if 10 overs, 12 overs, if they are there, I think the match is in their pocket. Apart from that, I think what is helping them really, really well is their bowling. And the new bowlers led by Malinga,
Yeah.
Sakib, they're all doing a fair good of
Right.
damage to the opposition batting. I think what is helping this current IPL, if you see the top bowlers, a lot of pace bowlers and medium pacers are topping the list of wicket taking. The lengths they got it right after the first 2 weeks of IPL. They're not bowling the drivable lengths. All
Mm-hmm.
these bowlers who hit close to 140, if they are bowling a bit short of good length, that is, I think most of the Indian batsmen struggle against that. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a mishmash can crash, but not all people can hit those balls. So Hyderabad is helped very well by these new ball bowlers, and
Mm-hmm.
uh, of course their biggest strength is their the top three batsmen.
Yes, I think most of us, I think, said that SRH's main strength is their batting and their bowling is kind of like, a weaker aspect of their game. But I don't think we can say that anymore, given that Malinga and even Nitish Reddy is coming into the scheme of things. They look like a nice, well-rounded side. Special mention about Klaasen, how good he's been at that number 5 position.
No, it's, he's a champion batter, isn't he? So and then whenever these top three don't do the damage, I think they can bank on him. And then he has been a he has been extremely consistent whenever the ask was on him, and he really delivered when it mattered. I think he also contributes to the decision making in the team in terms
Right.
of field placings, and their mind you, their fielding also has been very good. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
uh, their catching has been good, which was not the case in the earlier years. All their ground fielding has been good. So if you have a batting unit that puts 200 plus on the board, the chasing team finds it extremely difficult with this sort of bowling and fielding, ground fielding and catching.
Mm-hmm.
And if they are chasing, again, batters take the center stage and then clear the field. They know what is to be done over on over. So it's definitely a batting dominant team for sure, but I think bowling is no uh, is
Yeah.
definitely not the weak link anymore. With Sakib's, Malingas, and Nitish Reddy, all doing extremely well.
Yes. So I know it's little early days, but I look at that SRH and RCB match and look at it almost like a preview of the final of IPL 2026.
I'm still thinking that the top two might make it to the final,
Okay, GT and RCB.
GT and RCB. Anyway, that's too early days for us to predict. Again, teams like Rajasthan Royals or for that matter, SRH,
Mhm.
with three good batting performance, they can turn the tide towards their way.
Yeah, now that you talk about RR, I think RR probably has probably the best chance out of all these teams to make it to the playoffs because they have three matches. Today they play Delhi, and
Yes.
then they have two more matches. I think that's against Lucknow and MI. So how do you see
Well,
RR doing in those? I know no match is going to be easy because everybody, the KKRs, the Lucknows, everybody is pulling their A game. But
yes.
having three matches in hand is quite a big bonus.
Yes, but they have the chance, but at the same time, as you rightly said, teams like KKR and Lucknow Super Giants have nothing to lose. For that
Mm,
matter, even Delhi thinks it's an outside chance, and the only way to play to get into the scheme of things is to play the hardest way.
right.
So Rajasthan Royals is going to take all the three teams playing their A level game, and then when you have nothing to lose, you have people like Nicholas Porans and all coming and hitting the way they want.
Mm, mm,
That can cause a lot of damage and a mm, and a dent to their planning altogether.
mm, mm,
Mind you, again, Rajasthan Royals depends a lot on the top two.
right.
It's, I don't see the top three really, because what happens is, when Weber gets out, there's so much pressure on the number three batsman and
Mm,
even for that matter Yashashvi also.
right.
So uh, it's a very, very Vaibhav Suryavanshi dependent team in a
Mm,
way that the start that Vaibhav gives actually gives them so much of comfort. If
right,
not, there's no comfort. They have won matches for sure, and they are there. The fact that they are in the top six is indication of the team performing well. But that doesn't mean that it's a very, very set team in terms of 1 to 11.
right.
That's not the case with Rajasthan Royals.
And who would have thought, I mean, if we told us last season that this team is going to be its lead batsman or they're going to be solely dependent on Vaibhav Suryavanshi, isn't it?
I think
Yeah.
it's an era of a fearless cricket, and
Mm,
the purists might not agree that they may call it a slog or whatever. But
yeah,
then, what matters at the end is what is the impact that you are giving to the team,
right.
um, and the scores say it all.
With all due respect, is Rajasthan again looking as that team in in the 2025 season, wherein it's pretty much dependent on their top two, and then there is a batting order which sort of is turns up on a day and is not really doing the job for them.
The middle order has always been a problem for Rajasthan
For
Royals,
Rajasthan,
even when Sanju was there as captain.
right?
So they didn't get it right.
Mm,
The Hetmeyers and all were there, but never came to the party. So this year also the story is the same. The
mm,
middle order is not really coming in,
mm,
and so that's why again it's a very, very top two dependent team. See,
mm,
you can't, even on paper, you can't depend. Let's. I'm only comparing with RCB. Not that it's our sentimental favorite, but if you think the openers fail in RCB, you have this backup of Devdutt Padikkals to Tim Davids to Krunal Pandyas.
right.
Just imagine an all-rounder coming and winning a match for you. That dependent, Mr. Dependents are not there in
Mm,
Rajasthan anymore.
mm,
Uh,
mm.
uh, they never had, for that matter. Of course, they're helped by a fairly good bowling team, uh, but that's not making up for the complete team that is required to win an IPL. They don't look like a team that can win an IPL this year.
Okay, those are big words, and I must agree with you because they also seem like missing that leader. It's a fairly young team,
Young team, yeah.
barring Ravindra Jadeja, and given that that's his first season, he kind of looks a little unsettled in the team. And someone like him guiding the youngsters. What do you think about it? Are they missing that older figure as their leader?
They have a very strong uh, what you call back end team which supports them in terms of decision making.
Mm.
I mean, who else other than Sangakara
Sangakkara.
helping them and all that? So on-field decisions are again very, very 20-over match, isn't it?
Mm.
So in a 20-over match, the on-field decisions don't make up so much, excepting for individual performance that take the team through.
Mm.
But having said that, yes, Sanju Samson or for that matter, Jadeja would have
Mm.
uh, having the captaincy would have made some difference to the entire field management. Other than that, I think they have a fairly good think tank behind, which would
Mm.
have helped them in strategizing.
That brings us to our last team, Punjab, a team which was unbeaten for, I think, the only team which was unbeaten. They won 6 games and that one draw against KKR. And then that slump of losses. Has their catching really given them this form, or is it just a question of things just not coming together?
Catching is a huge factor in T20 match. The batsman who's dropped in the power play, if he goes on to make a 50 or a 60 or even 100, that match is gone. So what happens if you have weak links on the field like that? Is you are giving an opposition a chance to bat again.
Right.
And if you have a player like Abhishek Sharma given a chance,
Right.
he makes merry. So these are the they may appear very small in the broader scheme of things, but their catching has let them down really, really bad. Apart from that, again, the top four, uh, all very, very well. They are in the top scorers list of the IPL 2026, including Shreyas Iyer. Sudden slump of form of Shreyas also.
Mm.
Um and little inconsistencies from Arya and Prab Simran all have contributed to their downfall. They have a good bowling side. I
Hmm.
mean, you have the highest wicket taker of IPL child there, but somehow their utilizing the child also has been questionable. The other player who is a disappointment for Punjab Kings is Marcus Stoinis.
Join.
I mean, the way he contributes in a T20 setup, I don't think he has contributed at all
Hmm.
this season. Shashank has been a tremendous lower order batsman for Punjab. This year, forget about his catching. His batting also has been well below par. If they make it to the top four, I think they're a team very very difficult to beat.
Agree.
And mind you, the playoffs are going to happen. I think two out of the three games are going to
Hmm.
be in Molanpur, so
Hmm.
that's their home turf. Not that they
Hmm.
have done very well there, but again, it's a
Hmm.
comfort zone for them.
Right. I think it's also not helped matters for them playing at Dharmshala. They're not, especially towards the later half of the IPL.
Yeah.
Punjab, it's not been more of a home ground, given that it's still their home ground. Punjab has not really fared that well. Even today, I think the match against Bangalore is at Dharmshala. I think just one statistic, Punjab in fact has been the only team which has used the least number of players in the first half of IPL. That said a
Yes.
lot that they're comfortable with their resources, but suddenly it looks like they are there's Stoinis who's not delivering for them. Arshdeep has also has had a good match, has had many off days. It does seem like they're a little short on resources. Even someone like Ferguson not really coming to the party. Do you really see Punjab making it to the playoffs?
They're favorites to be in the top four considering the current points levels and then a match to go. Arshdeep is one match away from a good performance.
Right.
It's not that many times we blame the bowlers for their bad days, but then a slog here might go over the third man, and then your analysis gets spoiled.
Mm.
He's definitely not at his best, but I think he's not far away from his delivering a good performance. That's where the opposite teams are taking advantage.
Mm.
Their opening bowlers are not doing their best, and in my view, Ferguson is not a good T20 bowler. He bowls straight, fast, and then very, very predictable lines and lengths. So those are not the horses you bank on.
Right. So in all
Uh,
likelihood, they'll probably go with Bartlett and they'll
but yeah,
continue with Omar Zahi. I guess he had a good performance the other day. So they'll go with
yes,
Omar Zahi instead of Stoinis.
yes,
Mm.
Umar Zai and Bartlett are better bowling options than an all-rounding capability of Stoinis because batting is never used now this season because Bartlett brings an element of that difficult length
Hmm.
bowled at batsman. I think that's a formula which is working, and Marzai brings this variety and variations to his pace. So that might be a better option for them going forward.
Okay, so your four are RCB and GT, of course, and Sunrisers and Punjab. I think that's your four. Okay,
I think my top four still remain. Yes,
your
still
top four.
remain. Yeah,
Yeah.
but as I said, sentimental favorite is Chennai Super Kings. If they come, I'm also a big fan of Sanju's batting and timing. So if he gets it right, uh, and if Punjab loses out from the top four and CSK gets in, I'll be
Yeah.
more than happy.
Yeah, I think the only other team that I see missing out, in all likelihood, if Punjab misses, then they get replaced by CSK. I think
Yes,
that's
yes,
the
yes.
only change that we see in this four for the playoffs. And year after year, the last 2 weeks of IPL always keep surprising you and keep you on the edge of the seat. And all of us fans keep waiting for our franchisees to do well. And no one is really out of the race till they're out of the race.
Thank you, Saru, for having me here, and we'll stay connected.
Thank you so much, Hari sir. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you once again with a special episode coming up with the playoffs race. Thank you so much. Bye bye.